And now I have little girls, like, there's probably three or four of them that came up to me and they're like, you are my absolute favorite driver. Like, I come and watch you every weekend. I cheer for you. And, like, I love
All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Checkered Roots. This is definitely a first. This is going to be attempt number 2 at this episode because the first time that we did this, and it was a fantastic interview and a fantastic episode. I'm really sad that you guys won't ever get to see it because none of the audio recorded. So maybe a blessing in disguise, but we'll get to that. So without further ado, let's reintroduce our racer here for this evening, Miss Josalyn Hibbard. Josalyn, how are you?
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Good to see you again, as I should say.
Yeah, same with you.
Well, why don't you introduce yourself? Who you are, what you race, what you do for a day job, kind of all that stuff. Give us an introduction to you.
So I'm Jocelyn Hibbard. I am from Youngstown, Ohio. I race down at Tyler County Speedway in West Virginia. I am a graphic designer at Three Rivers Karting here in Pittsburgh. And yeah, I love racing. And we have been traveling to Tyler County for probably 12 years now. It's 3 hours both ways, and it's our second home.
Sure. And talk to us a little bit about it. Why do you make that journey down? Why choose to race so far away?
So, I mean, I've been all over the country, or I wouldn't say country, but Ohio, PA, West Virginia, Virginia. Tyler County has always been a second home. The previous owner that actually retired last year, John Watson, made us feel at home. Like we camp down there every weekend, whether it's a 1 day weekend or 2 day weekend or 3 day weekend, we camp the entire weekend. And it's just our second home. And we've always loved it there.
Sure. No, that makes perfect sense. And so you race sport mods. So I'm guessing you didn't start out in sport mods. So what was kind of your journey? How did you kind of make your way through racing and kind of what does the future look like?
So I actually started a little later than most kids do. I know there's kids starting at 2, 3 years old in like juice box class or whatever you want to call it. I actually started at 12. So at Tyler County, they have what is called the mini wedges. It's pretty much a go-kart with a full roll cage and a body. You can start as young as, I believe, 6 there, but I didn't start until 12. So I was automatically thrown into the veterans class, which was a little challenging at that age. Never racing anything before. Raced that for 4 years, and then I moved up to what they call hot mods, which is a beginner big class, if you want to call it that. Raced that for 2 or 3 years, and then I moved up to sport mods, which is what I'm currently in now.
Sweet. And then what is the trajectory from here? So now you're in sport mods. Do you want to stay in sport mods for, the rest of your racing career? Do you have aspirations to race something else or kind of what do you want to do from that?
Um, I've always said that I don't want to move up classes until I get at least a feature win, and Mini Witches was the only class that I've gotten a feature win in so far. But I'd like to stick with sport mods for at least another couple years, and then maybe make my way up to like UMP mods or I don't know, some other sort of mods. I really like the open wheel class, but definitely another year or two in the sport mods.
Sure, sure. And so I remember, the last time we did this interview, and I've kept up with you on social media and everything like that. But talk to me a little bit about being a female racer, especially, in the local scene. It's a male dominated sport. I don't think that that's any secret. But I do love talking to the female racers because I think your guys' perspective on everything is freaking awesome. How has that been? Has there been challenges with it? What do you really like about it? Because I know you're passionate about it, so I'll kind of leave it open ended for you to kind of go on from it from there.
So I mean, it's been tough. Mini wedges, it wasn't so bad. There was a handful of girls, but when I moved up to the hot mods, I was the only female for, I think, all 2 or 3 years that I was in that class. And there were guys that would spin out in front of me. I'd drive around them, and then they'd come to my pit saying that I wrecked them when I never touched them. And yeah, it was a rough couple years in the hot mod class. In sport mod class, I'm actually the only girl in that class. And some of the guys get a little jealous that I'm running top 5, top 10, beating them every week. But there's a lot of guys that have respected me. And even from the other classes that I don't even race with, they'll come up to me and they're like, "You're a girl. Like, you can actually drive a car." And I'm like, "Yeah, like, I try my best. I want to get better every week." And actually, last year, we made our first showing at Pennsboro Speedway when they reopened it for the first time in 22 years. And I led, like I told you the last time, I led the first lap in 22 years. And I think that is the coolest thing ever. I will hold on to that forever. But the feature, I ended up finishing third at the line pretty much. And we went to tech, and the guy that won, his dad comes up to me. He goes, "You're a girl. I would have cheered for you against my own driver if I knew you were a girl."
Right.
Like, so it's cool. The fans definitely get a kick out of it. They'll come up to me. They're like, "Oh my God, like this is so cool." Like, I've all guts, no nuts written down my fire suit, my helmet, the shirts, so they get a kick out of that as well, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will have Jocelyn's merch stuff linked down below. But it's actually really, it's kind of like I was telling you before recording, it's a blessing in disguise because now I definitely picked up a shirt that has the all guts, no nuts on the back of it. I think it's awesome. And I'm happy to support anybody, who comes on here, any, of the local racers, the smaller racers. I love supporting you guys. So she has a ton of great merchandise up, and I would 100% recommend going and checking it out. But and I was keeping up with you on social media here the last couple of weeks, as I was saying, but I saw you did some kind of autograph night here a few nights ago. But to see the amount of little girls that were coming up to you, and you can tell that that's something that you're passionate about, but you can tell like how much of an idol that you can fulfill for them as a female racer, to where I think when little kids go to the track, they see race car drivers, and race car drivers are race car drivers, right? But when a little girl can see a female driver, I think that resonates so much more with them, of where it's maybe not at that age, but it's like the oh shit moment of, oh, I can do this. Like, she's out here doing this. I can do this. So talk to me a little bit about what that means to you, of being able to be that role model for them.
Oh, I love it. Like when I was a little girl, there was a handful of female drivers racing in late model classes that we followed because my dad was a tech inspector for like the fast track crate class, the rush. But I followed a handful of them, and I wanted to be just like them when I grew up. And now I have little girls like the other night at autograph night. There's probably 3 or 4 of them that came up to me and they're like, "You are my absolute favorite driver. Like, I come and watch you every weekend. I cheer for you." And like, I love that. Even like the boys, like they come up to me, they're like, "This is so cool." Like, I don't know. I love being an inspiration to kids of all ages. Like, I want them to grow up and be a race car driver. Like, go do that. That is something you could walk into school and probably nobody knows what you're talking about,
Right.
but I love it.
And then to kind of continue on one last thing with the female racer. So you're still in contention, if I'm not mistaken. I know it's coming to a close here soon, but for fan voted female racer of the year, fan favorite racer of the year, correct? So why don't you tell us a little bit about that and what we can do, where we can find you, and how you kind of got into that?
Yeah, so it's through Frisky Motorsports on Facebook. I actually found it. A friend commented the very first post that she ever made about it was top 10 fan favorite female drivers of the United States. I was like, that's really cool. And at first, you all you had to do is comment a picture, and people had to go like it. And when that closed, um, my mom calls me. I was on my way down to my fiance's, and she's like, "You made it, you made it, you made it." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And she's like crying. I'm like, "What do you mean?" She goes, "You made it into the top 10," which actually 11th because I tied for 10th.
Yeah.
But I was like, "There's no way right now." Like, there are some of the very well-known female drivers that I've watched the last couple years. But yeah, so she started round two, and all you gotta do is she has it pinned on her Facebook, which is Frisky Motorsports. All you got to do is go and comment my name. And this round ends August 1st. And then she's going to do one more round right before the dome. So the award ceremony is um, at the after party after the dome night on Saturday, I believe. and the top 10 get a trophy. She actually sent us a certificate, which was really cool. I wish I had it, but it's a personalized certificate with your name saying you made it into the top 10. And then once the finalized results show up after the next round, you get a trophy with your name on it and stuff, which I think is really cool.
Hell yeah. That's awesome. Well, I'll be sure to have all of that stuff linked down below as well. Where you can find that, Frisky Motorsports again, and then on my Facebook page, I think I shared it, and that was, it was a couple weeks ago now because of the issues we had. This was supposed to be uploaded right after I was doing all that stuff, but please go show Jocelyn all the love and support with that. Um, so talk to me a little bit about, like, what kind of advice would you give me when it comes to being a new driver or getting into motorsports? If you could do it over again, of where you were learning how to get your feet wet into this sport and this industry, this community, what kind of advice could you offer for me on that?
So I was lucky to actually grow up in it, so it wasn't so hard for me. But for anybody, just go do it. Don't let people get in your head because there are definitely guys trying to get in my head. And I know it's different for females, but just do it. Don't give up. It's hard and it will get better, but you will have the worst nights of your life probably. But yeah, just never give up. Keep going. Don't let anybody get in your head, and hopefully you'll make it someday. I mean, I'm still trying to make it, but hopefully at some point you'll make it.
Yeah, sure. No, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Um, what's one of your good, crazy racetrack stories? Any of the ones where it's like, man, you wouldn't believe this, anything like that? Kind of, what do you got for anything like that?
So actually, me and my sister actually started racing mini wedges the same year, I believe was 2016, and she kind of fell out of it, so she doesn't go anymore. But it actually popped up. It was 6 years ago the other day, and she was in the younger group, I was in the older group, and I believe she started on the pole of her feature, and she won it. And at the time, the mini wedges were racing on the big track at Tyler County. And my dad comes down to like start my motor and he goes, "Your sister just won." And I'm pretty sure it was her first feature win. But I started a little bit deeper in the field and I ended up making my way to the front. And me and a good friend of mine, Luke Heyer, were inches from each other the entire time. I mean, we were bumper to bumper. And when it came to coming out of turn forward of the checkered flag, I ended up pulling like 6 inches a foot from him and ended up winning. So that's been something I've held to my heart forever. I mean, you don't get most siblings to win on the same night,
Right.
but yeah, it was especially the way it ended. I mean, you could see there's a picture of me coming across a checkered flag and you see everybody up in the stands like this. Like it
Right.
is so cool.
No, that's fantastic. Yeah, that's awesome. Um, well, I have to hear about it because I know it happened at the racetrack, but how did this whole engagement thing go down? Because I saw the pictures and all that stuff, but you got to tell the story because it looked like it was pretty neat.
So, a lot of people don't know this, but it actually happened twice.
Oh,
So, yeah. So, my home track, which is literally in my parents' backyard, is Sharon Speedway in Ohio. And we had one weekend off a couple weeks ago from Tyler County. So, my dad was like, "Why don't we take our family-owned car up there? It's a couple minutes away, and let's go run up there with those guys." I was like, "Okay, I've had a couple good runs up there the last 2 years or whatever. So, there's a good chance we could make something happen." And it was actually on Nick's birthday, my fiance. And so I was like, he probably doesn't want to spend his birthday at the racetrack with me racing. Like, he'd probably be the one to race. But we went and we ended up having problems that night. So we ended up calling it quits after the heat race because I went second to dead last. And I was like, let's just load it up. I'm not junking the car. But after the night was over, because they had the World of Outlaws there that night, and my dad was like, "We need to go for a ride on the golf cart." I'm like, this is awkward, but okay. We went straight to the racetrack on the front stretch, and Nick's like, "We need to pose for a picture." And I'm like, "What are we doing?" I'm like, I was mad how the night went. I'm like, "What are we doing?" And he got down on one knee. And of course, after he stood up, my mind was going in 8 different directions. My mind was like, this just happened. And he looks at me, he goes, I don't have a ring. I just wanted to do it at this racetrack and on my birthday. It's
That's
like,
awesome.
okay, like no rush on a ring. Like I kept telling him that. I was like, no rush on a ring. Saturday comes. We went out for autograph night during intermission, and it was raining actually during intermission. Like they were just trying to get through the night and they wanted it to still happen. Well, right when everybody was pulling off the track, we're the only two on the track. And my mom and his mom were like, "You guys need to take a picture." It's like, okay. And he's reaching down in his fire suit. I'm like, what are you doing? And he got all on me again. And he had the ring that time. So they actually pulled the announcer over that night and he announced it to the entire crowd. And then we got interviewed after, which I hate interviews. So I'm just like, yeah, that just happened. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I love him and I'm glad that I found somebody that I can race the rest of my life with, but I'm excited.
I mean, how many people can say that they got one engaged on a racetrack not once but twice? I mean, that's an accomplishment in itself. But then
And
also, I mean,
if
and that is beautiful to have someone you can share that passion with and to race together with and have the same issues and somebody that understands that. I mean, that's awesome. I'm super happy to hear that for you. I have so my wife and I have actually been married 3 times but have never been divorced.
Jesus.
So the way that the laws work or whatever is you have to get married in the county that whoever the minister is ordained in. So we got married in one county. Then it was during COVID, so we had to reschedule our big wedding, but we still wanted to keep our wedding day. So then we went and had like a boots and jeans wedding, which is what I always wanted. I always wanted to get married in boots and jeans and just like a pearl snap. That's all I needed.
Yeah.
She wanted the big wedding. So I got my boots and jeans wedding next to this like farm pond and I was happy as a clam. But then we rescheduled our big wedding for the next year. So then we had her big wedding the year after. So we always tell people we've been married 3 times but never been divorced, and it always throws people for a loop. So now you can say you've been engaged twice.
Yeah, and I love it because, it's the racetrack that I grew up at from like I mean, I was born in the winter, but from the day I was born at Sharon Speedway, like that has been my home track forever. And then Tyler County is my second home. So, and he lives in Tyler County, so and that's where we met. So, that's what I love about both places.
So then I have to ask, and I'll cut it out if you don't want it to be in there, but I have to ask. So what's the plan then? Are you moving to Tyler County or is he coming up to Sharon Speedway? What's that look like? Because 3 hours is a long ways. I mean, I've done the long distance stuff before, but that kind of stinks. So what's the plan there?
Yeah, so right now I think our plan is I'll go down there. Like I graduate in the spring, so I'll probably move down there and then we may go up to where my parents live. I don't know. But
Sure.
yeah, our plan is for me to go down there right now.
Well, good for you. Oh, that's fantastic. So, okay, so one more question then with that. So you're doing graphic design now for the go-karting place, right? And you're in college from what I remember for graphic design, correct? So
Yes.
are you planning to use that in any way or kind of what's your ideal dream job? Are you trying to work in racing or do you just want to do something on the side and just have racing be separate?
So currently right now I'm actually doing my internship through Go Fast Racewear, which is where all of my shirts and hoodies and stuff are. And hopefully, maybe I can end up with a job through them. If not, I'd love to work in the design side of racing, whether it's selling t-shirts, wraps, uh, autograph cards. Like I just made a handful of autograph cards for myself, Nick, a couple friends for last weekend. So I definitely want to stick to the racing side of design, but yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. No, that's awesome. Well, as you remember from last time, the way I like to kind of close these out is I kind of open the floor to you to talk about anything that you feel you need to talk about, any merchandise or sponsors or social media stuff, anything like that. So the floor is yours.
So I guess I can end it on thanking my sponsors and my crew. Ralph Underwood and Nick Keller are the reason that I'm even in a car right now. They've been my biggest sponsor the last 2 years. They're who I drive for. Kyle Thomas is another huge sponsor. He's been my mentor the last 5 or 6 years, and he makes sure I know what I'm doing wrong. Like I'll get out of the car and he'll be like, "Why did you do that?" Like, but yeah, he's been a huge help. He's built my cars like suspension wise and stuff like that the last couple years. So he's also one of the main reasons I've hit the racetrack. My mom and dad are huge supporters. I mean, without them, I probably wouldn't be doing this as well. But Jenkins Auto Parts, Forster's Big C's in Middleburn is a small bar that they have in the middle of town. Carson Motorsports, I feel like I'm forgetting somebody. But I mean, there's a ton of people that help us. It's just, I wouldn't be doing it without anybody.
No, absolutely. No, that's awesome to have such a big village behind you. Well, Jocelyn, thank you so much for coming on once again. I really do appreciate the time, and I really look forward to continuing to follow your journey. And congratulations once again, and best of luck with everything that's coming up for you.
Thank you.